Hello, Gundam fans and Gampla builders. Welcome to our All About Gundam. And tonight we have our special guest, Mr. ZakuAurelius. Okay, so how are you, Sir Saku? You're doing all good. So please introduce yourself. Tell me about about yourself, please. Okay. So just give me a sec, cause I think we're having a uh, technical difficulty. So just let me uh, fix this one as well. Walang nadidinig sa kanya. Pero ako nadidinig, no? Wait.
Just trying to finish up some work on this kit here, so gives me a good chance to just kind
Can
of
you hear it?
look at it and make sure there's
Yep.
anything more. What else more I might want to do with this? It's all good.
Okay. It's all good? Yep. And then, so how did you start collecting Gampla and when was, you mentioned earlier that you started collecting Gundam plastic model kits on 2014. So what is your first kit that you built?
Well, I started YouTube. I started making videos on YouTube in 2014. I started building, I guess, around 2000. I don't know exactly. 1999, 2000, 2001, around there. Um, started building then with the HG 1100 Shenlong kit, I believe, was my first kit, as far as I can remember.
Oh, that's a good kit then. So that's the first issue of high grade kits.
Yeah,
The one
that
with
was.
the big, is it the big box or the one that we consider no grade?
It's the HG 100 scale. So
Yeah,
for Gundam Wing at the
yeah,
time, they
Gundam
put
Wing.
out
Yeah.
HG kits in both 100 and 1.4 scale, but they were just all under the high grade
High
label.
grade label. Yeah.
Mm.
So do you mind telling me about the culture of in United States about the Gundam plastic model kits, how popular it is, and how many groups do you have in there in USA when it comes in building Gundam communities?
Mm. Yeah, well, I mean, it's obviously much, much more popular now than it was 20 years ago when I first started building. At that time, it was hard to get your hands on any Gunpla. Well, I guess I should say it's much easier now. Like I was gonna say, like you couldn't get it in stores, but you actually could. So that's how like me and a lot of other people at the time who were first getting into Gunpla and Gundam at the time, you could buy Gunpla at like stores, Toys R Us, and stuff like that. But then there was a period of time when you couldn't for a long time until just more recently. It's been getting more popular again, and I think it kind of ebbs and flows a bit. The popularity of building Gunplay here. I think anytime there's a new popular anime series out, then that uh, brings a lot more people into the hobby. So, like especially in recent history, IBO I think was really popular as a series and brought in a lot of new fans here in the U.S. and that helped a lot. Um, During COVID time, also a lot of people had to stay home, and so Gunpl has been very popular in the last couple of years just for that reason as well. It's a very difficult time for a lot of people, but it was good for growing the hobby here
Yeah,
in the U.S. anyway.
yeah, it's everywhere in the world that during pandemic time there's a lot of builders that showing up as well
Yeah,
because of the pandemic.
yeah, sure.
And then, do you mind telling me your opinion about the third-party kits of Gundams? So, what can you say about it of those people having an issue building a third-party kit? Of course, we support Bandai, but do you mind
Hmm.
telling me about your opinion about it?
Yeah, sure. That also has changed a lot in history as Bandai products have become more and more available, and there's less demand for third party stuff, and especially like straight bootleg stuff. A combination of things. Number one, like Bandai kits are easier to get, so more people are just opting to just get the Bandai kits and cheaper too than maybe what they used to be as they're more plentiful.
Yeah.
You can just get them for cheaper. Also, Bandai has been going after. They finally started going after some of the bootleg companies, shutting them down. So uh, I think it's less of an issue now than it was maybe
2 years
5
ago?
years ago,
Yeah.
even. For me personally, I don't mind like third party stuff where the companies are making it may be like Gundam IP, so it's
Mm,
still technically illegal since it's
illegal, yeah.
still IP copyright infringement. But as long as they're making like their own like completely
Complete.
new designs and molds and stuff, I don't necessarily mind it that much. A lot of that stuff I'm just like personally doesn't really appeal to me. So like, what was it? The company that made like the different wing kits. I don't remember the name.
Dragon Momoko? Is that Dragon
No,
Momoko?
no. The Dragon Momoka stuff was pretty cool. I like a lot of their designs that they came out with. Um, the one that made the variation of the Endless Waltz wing kits.
Daban? Is it Daban?
No, I don't remember. Suddenly, I don't remember the name of the company. But anyway, the point is that some people wondered like why I wasn't reviewing those kits. I did review one of them. It was the
Yeah.
Sandrock. Was the one that I reviewed. But they came out with like all the Endless Waltz wing kits, their own versions of those. I can't remember the name, but anyway, I just didn't really like the design of them. Was the only reason. It wasn't because that they were third party kits or whatever. It was not the reason why I didn't build or review them. I didn't like the designs, but as far as like anything that's just like a straight like one-to-one copy, like what Daban usually
Yeah.
does, and
One
a
of
couple other
the
companies.
follower in here on YouTube said it's a supernova kit.
Yeah, Supernova. Thank you.
Supernova,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Frido A, for your
Let's
input
see.
for that.
Um, yeah, yeah, Supernova. Right. But yeah, any like the straight copies, I don't really. I mean, I don't like that. Although I don't disparage people who buy those. I mean, if that's what you choose to buy, then that's fine. I'm not gonna like unfriend or hate anyone
Hate anyone.
that buys those because I think it's your money and you should be able to buy what you want to. And if Bandai one company is selling those, Bandai's responsibility is to go after companies and shut them down. And so if those companies are making those products and if people are buying them, then I don't know. It's not much that I can do about that. I would encourage people to buy products just because for full reasons, but also because they're just better quality products. So, you know, people will say that they want to buy bootleg kits for the reasons that they want to practice a new
Yeah.
technique or something, and they don't want to ruin the Bandai
Ruido
kit.
Bandai, yeah.
Just practice on something cheaper. I don't really agree with that. I think, in my personal opinion, if you want a cheap kit to practice on, then just buy like an entry grade Gundam or something like that from Bandai. It's cheap enough and perfectly fine for just like a practice kit. So um, there's different excuses that people give, but I mean, I wouldn't buy any straight bootleg kits, but if that's what people want to buy, that's fine. You don't need to make an excuse necessarily.
Okay. So let's move on to the next question.
Sure.
So this one we're gonna be a little bit of on the greed topic because most of the people are fighting on the communities about this topic. So what can you say about comparing different timeline of Gundam universe and which one is the uh, strongest? Some people say it was the Gundam Barbatos was the strongest because it can fight any mobile suit that with a different timeline. So what
Mm,
what will be your opinion for it?
As far as I know, like canonically, the Turn A Gundam will still be the technically strongest, just because of its abilities. I just don't think that. Um, to me, the whole argument is just silly. I don't really care. I just enjoy the model kits, and it's just kind of like it's kind of like asking like who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman. That's also another thing that people have talked about online. It's just I don't spend my time and thoughts, on that type of thing. I don't know. It's just not interesting for me. I don't really care. But I think, you know, if I had to give an answer, as far as I know, as far as like Gundam canon goes, the Turn A Gundam would
It's
be
gonna be
the
Turn A Gundam.
one of the strongest.
Strong.
But I mean, there's lots of every series has very uh, highly capable mobile suits. Let's say.
So, for you, which is the best timeline, or which is the best
I
series so far?
Yeah, I still like UC the most.
Universal Century.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Probably my favorite non-UC series would probably be G Gundam actually. Not necessarily because of like the the universe itself. Like I'm not saying like I like the universe that's in G Gundam. It's just like as a series, as an anime series, I like it.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of greetings in here from the Philippines. It's from Franz Mark Omega and Mark Anthony Chavez. Thank you for watching, guys. And they're greeting you as well, Saku. And then let's continue to move on. So, which is your most favorite and your most disliked kit so far that Bandai that released?
Sure. Uh, it's kind of really difficult for me to answer. I mean, it's a question I get asked a lot, and I just never really have any good answer for this. I'm sorry to say, just because. Uh, favorite, in all honesty, probably my least favorite kit that I've built from Bandai would maybe just be like the first grade Zaku 2 kit, just because uh, I thought with that kit it would be like a nice, just fun, simple kit, but it's simple and really cheap. It's a kit that only costs like $2 or even less. It's really, but uh, I think just for what it is, I would rather build like one of the 80s like Zaku kits, just because um, it's basically a kit that is all molded in one color. You have to glue everything. It's just like seam lines all over the place. It's super duper simple, like
Yes.
very old style model kit. And if I wanted to build a kit like that, I think I would just prefer to build like one of the 80s kits, even though they have like really weird
Weird
proportions and
proportions, yeah.
design. I think that's kind of at least that's more charming.
Yeah, it's very
Whereas like the
asymmetrical. Yeah.
yeah, whereas like the new or sort of newer uh, the first grade Zaku 2 is like that, but it doesn't have the charm. It's just the same design as just building like a regular HG Zaku. So if I wanted like that modern design, I would prefer to just build like an HG Zaku or an HG Origin Zaku. One of those would be better. Um, so that kit was one that I was like, well, there's just kind of no point to that kit for me. It wasn't necessarily a bad kit because I mean it's a first grade kit, so you know what you're in for with a kit like that. But it just wasn't. I mean, I just wasn't enthused about that kit at all. As far as like a favorite kit, that one also is quite difficult. But yeah, I'm not sure. There's a lot of kits that I really like. I think in general, it's probably easier to say like a favorite line, and probably like the HG Origins line is probably one of my favorites. There's a lot of really great kits in that line.
So let's move on, and then what do you expect in the upcoming new kits? I know that you already answered on your channel, but I'm gonna ask it again. So what can you say about the upcoming MGST Freedom and the MGE Extreme Freedom and the full uh, mechanics aerial?
and the MG Burka.
And you Burka as well. Don't
Yeah,
forget
there's a lot
the
of stuff
setup
on the way.
Burka.
There's a lot of stuff on the way. Honestly, all four of those kits are not that exciting for me personally. Just I as an enjoyer of model kits in general, like Gundam model kits in general, I'm excited to build them and just build them and review them. But as far as like a model kit that I'm excited to like work on any further, painting or customizing or modifying or anything like that. I'm not really necessarily looking forward to any of those kits, to working on them, more than just snap building them up. Really, to be honest, the MGX Freedom, I'll just kind of try to go in order of when they're coming out. The MGX Freedom's coming out first. That one, I'm sure it's going to be an awesome kit. The MGEX Unicorn was amazing. Very expensive, but it's definitely like the ultimate version of the unicorn. So like if somebody asks me what's hands down the best unicorn kit, because we have so many, I would say it's the MGEX the best, the most expensive, but
Yeah.
Well, maybe not most expensive. I'm not sure how the price to the PG now offhand which one's expensive, but anyway, it's a great kit, and the Strike Freedom I'm sure is going to be really nice. Yeah, the Strike Freedom is not a design that's one of my favorites, really. And then with the Freedom MGSD kit, that one as well, it's just not one of my favorite designs. I really like the concept of the MGSD concept as a line, so I'm looking forward to what kits they may come out with in the future. I think it's very likely we'll see something like a unicorn or a Barbatos, something like that. They'll definitely stick to like their most popular mobile suits, I think, probably for that line, at least for the first, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 of them will probably be all pretty predictable. But who knows? I don't know. We may be in for a surprise. I wasn't expecting the Freedom for the first one, so I don't know.
I was thinking it's gonna be the Wing Gundam or the Exia or the RX.
Those are all like any of those that are in like Bandai's top 10, most popular mobile suits, most popular Gundams. Yeah, I would say those are going to be the ones we're going to get in that line first. Fortunately or unfortunately, I mean, they're popular, so a lot of people will like it, but at the same time, I like to see something different, a little bit more variation from time to time. That being said, as far as the Verka kit goes, it's actually kind of the other way, the opposite from me. I kind of would have preferred it to be just a 2.0 of the RX-782 Verka, just because it's such a great design of the RX-782. But that kit, is now 20 years old. It's the one, and now for the 20th anniversary, I thought it'd be a great opportunity for them to make a new 2.0 version of that kit. But it's the Zeta Gundam. Not a Gundam that I really like the design of that much, but I think that one as well. I'm sure it's going to be a really great kit. It'll be interesting to see how it compares with the 2.0. I've not built the 2.0 or the 1.0 Masquerade Zeta, so I'm hoping to get my hands on and review the 1.0 and 2.0 before the Verka comes out so that I can kind of compare them. But yeah, it'll be a great kit. I think that one out of the 4 that we're talking about here in this question, that's one that I'm probably most likely to like take the time and to go and paint after building it, just because I think that kit is one that will, at least for me, it will look a lot better when it's repainted in some different colors. I don't really like the color scheme of the Zeta Gundam, for one. And the Ariel, yeah, this one I'm probably going to be the hottest take, just because I would advise most people to just not buy the 100 scale full mechanics Ariel unless you really, really want, like, if you really love the Ariel and you really want a 100 scale version, like, as soon as possible, then get it. But I would just wait for the master grade if it was me, just because we had this with the Barbatos when Iron Blow Reference was out. The full mechanics came out, and it was fine at the time. It was a good kit at the time, but it didn't really age that well. And then the master grade came out pretty shortly after that. Master grade is so much better.
Because I think the full mechanic is their prototype for building the master grade.
I just kind of a placeholder. It's easy. easy and faster to put out for Bandai because they want to capitalize on the popularity of the Gundam now while the series is kind of getting going.
Good.
People are getting interested in the series and they want more kits from the series. People are going to want to consume a series. So, to taking the time to design and produce a master grade kit takes more time and more cost, more energy, more cost from Bandai to produce. So I'm sure they're probably working on that. In the meantime, it's pretty easy and cheap for them to put out a 100 scale full mechanics kit. So they can put that out just to kind of have that out there for people to buy in the meantime, as just like a placeholder, like I said.
Yes.
And that'll sell, well, I'm sure. But then the master grade will come out, and I just think that it's going to be like the Barbatos. The master grade will just be much, much, much better overall.
Okay, so let's move on. So what can you say about the new series, Witch from Mercury? Any expectation about it? Do you think, so just to add on it, on that question, so one of the, our YouTube's following here is asking as well, what can you say about the impact of Witch from Mercury from the Gampla community? So how big is the impact for it as well?
Well, as for the series itself, I've not seen the series. I've only seen the prologue. I watched the prologue episode, but I've not. I think now there's the first 2 episodes are out of the series. I've not seen them yet, so I don't know. I've just seen people's reactions and stuff online. But from what I've seen online, people seem to be enjoying it. So I guess it's good, which is good. Bandai needs a popular series. They need a series to do well so that the kits do well, and then that's good for all of us. But like for me, I enjoy the anime series well enough, but I enjoy the kits so much more. So that's where I get much more excited about the actual model kit side of things. And so if an anime series is doing well, then that means that Bandai will invest more into the kits. They'll put out more kits, and that's good for me. So I'm happy if the series is doing well in terms of its popularity. As far as like personally whether I like the series or not, I'm sure I'll like it when I get a chance to see it. I liked the prologue; it was cool. There's definitely some interesting aspects.
Yeah, I really like the design of I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce it correctly. Illifrit? Illifrit? Illifrit?
Yeah, the liquid, yeah.
I really like the design of it.
Yeah, definitely. Like especially as far as like the anime goes, yeah, the character illustrations, the mobile suit illustrations are really cool. I really like the art style of it a lot, and the animation style is really good. So yeah, that's definitely one thing that's really impressive. But I really liked the animation of Reconquista and G as well. I think that series has some fantastic, beautiful animation. But I tried watching that and I didn't end up getting through finishing the series yet. I want to someday, but yeah, as far as the series goes, it was maybe a little bit disappointing. Beautiful artwork. As far as like the other part that you asked me about was just what I think the impact might be on the Gunpla community. I think that it'll be like I mentioned before. Whenever there's a big popular anime, then that usually brings more people into the Gunpla hobby.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, yeah, as this series continues, it'll be like we saw with Build Fighters, like we saw with IBO, like we saw with Double O, going back. Anytime there's a big popular series, a lot of anime fans come into the Gunpla hobby, which is good.
Okay, so just give me a few minutes for a little break, and then we continue on. So just give me a sec. Okay, guys, we're just having a little bit of difficulty, so uh, let me just try to fix this one quickly. Okay, so we're getting there. Okay, guys, so just give me a few minutes and then we'll continue it. So I'm just waiting again. So yep,
Oh,
yep, all good. We're back online again.
okay.
So let's continue. So we're going to the most exciting questions. The
Okay.
last, I think it's gonna be the last question for my end. So
Okay.
what do you think about the female YouTubers being
Hmm.
provocative to attract more audience and
Hmm.
subscribers? I, if I'm
Hmm.
not mistaken, I
Hmm.
know you already did some comments before on your YouTube
Yeah.
channel as well, but do you
Hmm.
mind enlightening us about it?
Hmm. Yes, my thought is that again, it's just something I just don't really care. Uh, I think if if they want to use whatever means they they have, that whatever means they might want to use to increase their views, and people do all sorts of different things to increase their YouTube views, or just online reach. Would be not only YouTube but Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that, Twitter, uh, TikTok. I guess is another
Yeah,
one
TikTok,
too, of course
TikTok
now.
ones.
But yeah, I don't mind. I do what I do because I enjoy doing it, and I don't know, like see, like if I saw a YouTube thumbnail with like like the
A
red
person, yeah.
red circles and red arrows and stuff pointing at and like some like crazy face like that, like that's more annoying to me
Yeah,
than seeing like a girl with her
with her, yeah.
Gampla and cleavage in a thumbnail. Like that's not a big deal. I don't know. I'd seen like some people recently uh, online. I don't know if you saw this. Some people had been playing come after that like I'm hypocritical because I made that video and I talked about like how I don't watch those videos,
Yes.
but then saying like how I like they'd seen on Twitter that I had like liked and followed Umi's
Um,
pictures and stuff. Yeah, I never said that I don't follow them on Twitter, that I don't like Umi stuff on Twitter, but I don't watch the videos, honestly. It comes up in my recommendations, and just I just don't watch um, like Gunpla stuff in general, whether it be like female Gunpla builders. I will occasionally watch Abby's videos. That's
yeah.
probably one of the very few Gunpla YouTube channels that I watch at all, male or female, whatever. I occasionally will watch Abby's videos, and there's a couple other Gunpla YouTubers that I will, every once in a while I'll watch some videos, but I just don't watch them on YouTube. You know, male or female mostly. But yeah, I do follow a few on Twitter. Yeah, certainly. But
That's a good thing
that's
that
about it.
that's the main thing that at least we're supporting each other, the Gunpla
Yeah,
YouTuber community to by means of following each other. So that's a good
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I mean,
It's a great help for each one of us for boosting the morale of each YouTuber.
mm, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I wish that I wish them the best, other male or female YouTubers and whatever they want to do. You know, so far as they're not you know, promoting, as long as they're not going on there like disparaging other people or you know like promoting any kind of hate in the community, so long as
Community.
that their message is like at least positive or constructive, then I don't really care whatever means they use just to spread that. And it's fine. Yeah.
So so we're going to answer now to on the
Mm.
questioners on the chat box. So
Sure.
one of the followers in here is asking about what motivates him building Gunpla, and aside from model kits, what do he do for a change of pace?
Uh, Change of pace would basically just be like a different type of model kit. Really, it's all model kits here. So like if I wanted to change of pace from building Gampla, I would build a Nakusume kit from Provocative or something, or a machine creator kit for a while. Like one just like here on my desk, I always have multiple things I'm working on. One of my side projects I'm working on is a resin figure here. It's clothed, and it looks not clothed, but it
Yeah,
does actually have clothing on. It's of a rain, actually it's from God Gundam,
God
or
Gundam. Yeah,
from T Gundam.
yeah.
Yeah, it's of Rain
It's
Kamura.
Rain Rikamura. Yeah.
Mhm. So we use resin kit sometimes. That's kind of more rare, but it just happens to be one of the things that I'm kind of working on here. So it's not like I'll shift to doing like a different hobby. It's mostly all just modeling one way or another, but I'll just shift to doing something a little different. Or like if I don't feel like building anything today, then I'll just work on some videos today. Or if I don't feel like working on some videos today, I'll work on building something.
So,
Hmm.
so another
I guess
question
that's kind of the other part. That's a different hobby, I guess. Video work, but it's all related.
related. Yeah.
Hmm.
So there's another question in here. It comes from Mr. Young at Seoul. So he's
Hmm.
asking, on a family man standpoint, what
Hmm.
is your wife thought about Gunpla, considering it's not cheap hobby at all?
Uh, uh, I mean, it's not, but it's not that expensive. I think as a hobby. I mean, there's a lot more expensive hobbies out there to be interested in. I feel like so it's not too bad. It all depends on what you do. If you're buying just like one hybrid kit a month, that's not very
Yes,
expensive at
yeah,
all. Again, compared to other hobbies. Um, so, but in my particular circumstances, it's been different for me because for a long time, basically for most of the time that I've been doing YouTube, most of the model kits, I still buy stuff with my own money, certainly, but a lot of the model kits that I get through sponsorships and stuff like that. So it's not costing me a lot of money. It's costing, and it's work. You know, some people, this is kind of a bit off on a tangent, but some people will get ads that like I get model kits, me and other YouTubers, whatever, anybody who has sponsorships that just get model kits for free.
yeah.
You work,
You work for it.
like
Yeah.
putting the model kit in, like the video, editing the video, posting the video, all that stuff is work. So that's what you're getting. That's what you get the model kit for. You're not paying for it, but you're paying for it with your time,
Yeah,
essentially,
yeah.
and your effort that you put into growing your channel. If you were a brand new YouTube channel and had 5 subscribers, no shop is gonna send you a kit
Just
for free
yeah.
because it's not worth it for them. So anyway, but sorry, what was the other part of the question? What yes? Oh, what was my wife think about it? Oh, yeah, my wife is just not interested at all. She is not interested at all in model kits or anything like that. So she doesn't like it. She doesn't hate it. She doesn't mind. I would imagine she's at least you know glad that it's a hobby that is productive. It's
Productive.
like actually making something rather than like if my hobby was like no offense to people who are their hobby is video games, but like in comparison, like if I would just like my hobby was just like sitting down and just playing computer games for like hours every day,
Yeah.
um, I don't think that she would like that as much. But considering that it's actually making something, and now that it's my job, it's how we make income for the family as well, and it's been an income source for a number of us. So I think that also something that she appreciates for our family. But yeah, as far as a hobby, she's not interested for herself.
So last question for uh, last two question, and this one we're gonna be quick. So it's come from Frank Mark Omega. He's just asking how many kit Gunpla kits you are already possessing at the moment.
It's going on. Uh, I have uh, I have no idea. Basically, I don't know. It's a lot, and I moved. It's been almost a year now. Almost a year since I moved from Korea to
Korea.
the U.S. And so one of the things I'm trying to go through everything because most of the kits I brought with me, I did get rid of some before moving, but I brought most stuff with me. So I've been going through trying to kind of get an inventory of everything. But even doing that, I've not been counting. I've just been kind of writing down, what all the kits are, just so I kind of can have some record of that. But I mean, I have a lot.
You got a lot.
I mean, just to get my on my YouTube channel, I mean, just like all the reviews and everything. You just go to like the review playlists. It's hundreds and hundreds of videos, so it's a lot.
Last question now. So how coming from Mark Anthony Chavez, any thought for MGH1 Glanza?
Oh yeah, I'm excited actually. We talked earlier about some of the new kits that are coming out from Bandai. Honestly, I'm more excited for the H1 Valencia. Yeah, I've not got a pre-order in for that yet, but hopefully when it comes up on the USA P Bandai site, hopefully I'm able to get in a pre-order on that. I think I should be able to, even though like I think it's going to be relatively popular, but Age in general, not a super popular
Super
series. So
popular, yeah.
hopefully that's not going to be one that's going to sell out like immediately. I should be able to get a pre-order for that. Fingers crossed.
So
I'm looking forward to that kit. I built the HG many years ago, and even the HG was an awesome kit. So I'm looking forward to the next year.
are you purchasing as well any mobile carrier, for example, the
Mm,
Archangel
mm,
launching dock? Are you
mm.
purchase it as well,
Stuff like
or
that. No, I'm not really interested in that kind of stuff. Like doesn't really matter the series, even if it was like a light based
what?
one or
Ptolemy? Yeah.
like a nail argonal one, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I just not interested in that.
Yeah. Okay. So any tips and advice for the current
Mm.
and the future Gunpla builders and Gunpla YouTuber bloggers as your final remark on our interview?
Yeah, for let's see, for just Gundam builders in general, yeah, I would say to just take your time with kits as far as like the kit that you're working on itself. People will ask sometimes. I'll see people ask like how long does it take to build this kit, or how long does it take to build that kit, and then like some reviewers I'll see like they'll mention their review like took this kit took me 2 hours to build. I think some people get hung up on that about like how long it takes to build a kit. I think that that's something you should just put out of your mind entirely. Don't
Yeah.
worry about how long it should take you to build a kit or how long it takes other people to build a kit. I think building is something that you should take your time with. I mean, the more you take your time with it, the better results you're going to have anyway, and just like the more value you get out of it because you're buying a model kit because you want to build it. Rather, if you didn't want to build it, you could just buy a figure, but you're buying a model kit because you want to build it, so you might as well take your time and enjoy that part of the build. And then if you are planning on painting or customizing or doing whatever else, these are all steps that you do have to take the time to do properly as well. And take your time studying, I guess, studying, watching videos of how to do that. If you are interested in painting, if you're getting interested in it, watch some videos about other people doing it, see how it's done, tutorials explaining how to do it. Take your time with it. And as far as for Gunplay YouTubers, with this one, I mean, for both after this question, I have used videos on my channel of these subjects before. So if you're interested in, I think it was maybe about a year or a year and a half ago, I made a video talking about how to be a successful Gunplay YouTuber. So you can check out that video if you want a more full answer to this. But basically, yeah, only don't start a Gunplay YouTube channel with the intention to be successful because it's difficult and takes a lot of time and takes a lot of effort, and it's just not a very big hobby. So there's not enough people in the hobby to have 20, 30, 40 big YouTube channels. There's really only a few YouTube channels that are very big. So I mean, if your intention is to be one of those, I mean, by all means, try, of course.
Yeah, it's hard.
But just you have to enjoy it. And if your only intention is to become a huge YouTube channel, then that's going to be very obvious, and the content is not going to be as enjoyable for the audience. So to really enjoy what you're making, for the audience to really enjoy watching it. So if you do successful, if you want to grow, you have. I mean, if you're not doing it, don't love to do it. If you have a YouTube channel, if you start your YouTube channel, it's not going well, and it's not going to go well at first. It's going to take some time before you as a content creator. It takes some time for you to figure out how to do things, how you like to do things, and it takes some time to figure out what your audience wants to see in your videos. So it's not going to go well for a while. It'll take some time, and then if you get to a point where you're feeling like you're yourself to do it because you think you have to for whatever reason, I would say to stop, to not do it if that's the way it's going, because if you're forcing yourself to do it, then you're not enjoying it, and then like I said, if you're not enjoying it, people aren't going to want to watch, and then it's just going to not ever get any better. So
yes, that's right. As long you're enjoying it and you have the passion to do it, just continue what you're doing, and then everything will gonna be all right on the long process of it. Yeah, maybe it will gonna take.
Just one more thing on that is then just be grateful for whatever success you do have, even if 100 subscribers, 200 subscribers. In comparison to other channels, it may not seem like that much, but I mean, be grateful for people who have chosen to follow you. Try to give back. Whether that be giveaways or whatever is an easy thing to do, of course, but any sort of other kind of interaction, I feel like it is really good. There's some channels, some really big channels, but as far as I can tell from the outside, and again, I don't follow a lot of YouTube channels that much, so maybe I missed it, but some big channels where they basically don't have any audience interaction. That's one of the things that I really enjoy. One of the things that I enjoy most doing with my audience, doing Q&A type videos, interacting in somewhat, whether it be polls or whatever, just get a little bit of some back and forth. So that's one way that you can also kind of show your appreciation. You're glad people are there watching your content.
That's it for tonight, Mr. ZakuAurelius. Thank you so much for having you in our YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the watchers, Mr. Mark Anthony Chavez, Young at Soul, Franz Mark Omega, Rose Santos, Fredo A. Thank you so much for watching, guys,
Mm.
and thank you again, Mr. ZakuAurelius. Thank you so
Pleasure.
much.
Bye. Bye,
Okay,
guys.
bye.